You can support In the Past Lane by buying some of our merchandise, like shirts, hoodies, mugs, and stickers. Just go to our website, inthepastlane.com. Thanks.
Whoa, hit the brakes. You've arrived at the #1 drive-by for American history. Welcome to The Pit Stop. Brought to you by In the Past Lane, the podcast about history and why it matters. Here's Edward T. O'Donnell, your host and historian at large.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to The Pit Stop, your Monday morning source for history on the go in just about 5 minutes. We offer this feature every Monday in addition to our full feature episodes, like our most 2 recent episodes on the history of World War I. Here's what happened in American history the week of December 3rd, 2018. Let's start with birthdays. December 5th, 1782 is the birthday of the 8th President of the United States, Martin Van Buren, who was born in Kinderhook, New York. There are 2 fun facts about Martin Van Buren. 1, he's the only ESL president, which means he's the only president for whom English was a second language. He grew up speaking Dutch. And second, Martin Van Buren hated being president. He once said, "The 2 happiest days of my life were my entrance upon the office of president and my surrender of it." December 5th is also the birthday of General George Armstrong Custer, who was born in New Rumley, Ohio in 1839. In 1857, Custer entered the United States Military Academy at West Point. He graduated last in his class in 1861, but in the Civil War, which had just begun, Custer emerged as a highly skilled and fearless cavalryman. After the war, Custer was sent west to participate in the Army's effort to defeat Native American tribes and force them onto reservations. His record in the West was spotty, and he often ran afoul of his superior officers. But Custer believed he was destined for greatness, even the presidency. This mindset at least partially explains some of his reckless decisions on June 25, 1876, when he and 267 soldiers of the 7th Cavalry were wiped out by a huge army of Native American warriors in the Battle of Little Bighorn. December 7, 1873 is the birthday of the writer Willa Cather, who was born in Gore, Virginia. Willa Cather was one of the great novelists of the early 20th century, whose works focused on the American West. She once wrote, "There are only 2 or 3 human stories, and they go on repeating themselves as fiercely as if they had never happened before." December 8, 1765 is the birthday of inventor Eli Whitney, who was born in Westborough, Massachusetts. Whitney is best known for inventing the cotton gin, a device that allowed for the rapid and efficient removal of cotton seeds from cotton. Whitney made very little money from this invention, but the device played a key role in promoting the Industrial Revolution and the growth and profitability of slavery. December 9th, 1886, another important inventor, Clarence Birdseye, was born in Brooklyn, New York. While ice fishing in northern Canada, he noticed that in the extreme cold, the fish he caught froze almost instantly, and that when later thawed and cooked, tasted pretty much like fresh fish. This insight led him to become a pioneer in the frozen food business. Okay, let's turn to events. December 3rd, 1964, Dr. Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize. December 5th, 1848, President James K. Polk announced that gold had been discovered in Northern California. This news touched off a massive migration of fortune seekers to California. Very few of these so-called 49ers had much success prospecting for gold, but their great numbers did allow California to become a state in 1850. December 5th, 1933, President Franklin Roosevelt announced that the 21st Amendment to the Constitution had been ratified. It repealed the 18th Amendment, which had established prohibition. This meant that once again it was legal to drink alcohol in the United States. The news of this announcement triggered a national bender of epic proportions. And if you want to know more about the history of Prohibition, check out In the Past Lane episode number 3. And on December 7th, 1941, the Imperial Japanese Navy carried out a surprise aerial assault on the United States Naval Base at Pearl Harbor in Hawaii. The U.S. lost over 2,300 military personnel and 4 battleships. The next day, the U.S. declared war on Japan. Okay, time for the last word. Let's give it to Martin Luther King Jr., who 54 years ago this week was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize. Here's an excerpt from his acceptance speech. "I accept this award today with an abiding faith in America and an audacious faith in the future of mankind. I refuse to accept despair as the final response to the ambiguities of history. I refuse to accept the idea that the isness of man's present nature makes him morally incapable of reaching for the eternal oughtness that forever confronts him. I refuse to accept the idea that man is mere flotsam and jetsam in the river of life, unable to influence the unfolding events which surround him. I refuse to accept the view that mankind is so tragically bound to the starless midnight of racism and war that the bright daylight of peace and brotherhood can never become a reality. I believe that unarmed truth and unconditional love will have the final word in reality. Okay, people, that's your history fix for the week. Now put it in drive and go make your own history.